Hello again, fellow BeachBum traders. Thank you for joining us for part 2 of our weekly trading game plan for the trading week of January 23rd through January 27th, where we'll select our top swing trading stocks to watch. Which top swing trading stocks do we want to put on a real-time watch list, in our bullpen, and our shopping list? And please stick around to the end of the video, and we're going to talk about a number of additional trading strategies, trading ideas, etc. Also options trading strategies and our evolution in those areas. So please stick around for the end of the video. And again, we'll get started selecting our top swing trading stocks to watch for the trading week of January 23rd through January 22nd, 7th. So let's get started. So here's our Google document with our notes for our weekly trading game plan for this week. You should be able to find a link to this Google document in the description box below. They're publicly accessible. We include additional videos, related videos, bonus videos, links to all the tools that we use, etc. And we store these in a publicly accessible Google Drive folder. You should also be able to find a link to this publicly accessible Google Drive folder in the description box below, so you can reference this Google document with our weekly trading game plan notes, as well as previous notes for our weekly trading game plans. Welcome Tony Rosas, Alan Krantz, Ricky Khan. Thank you all for joining us in the live chat for our live stream today. Glad to see you all. Hope you're doing well. So if you haven't already seen part 1 of our weekly trading game plan for this week, titled The January Barometer Says Stocks Will Be What in 2023, we would highly recommend you also view part 1, as that talks about our market analysis, our strategies, our trade ideas, etc. for this week. So again, that provides all of our input data for the selection of our top swing trading stocks to watch for this week. So I'll briefly talk about we didn't make a lot of new trades this week. It was just pretty choppy. We will talk about our option strategies and how we're evolving those to deal with the choppy market, range-bound choppy markets. But just a couple trade updates, as we did buy back covered calls that we had sold against DRIP. DRIP is the short on oil and gas. So when oil went back up, those covered calls got cheaper, so we got those back. We had originally sold them at $2.15. We bought them back at $1.70, so we got a 45-cent net profit on that premium. So again, this is part of our option strategy, is we'll sell covered calls when a stock or an ETF, whatever we're holding, is going up, and then we'll buy it back when it's when the covered call is coming down, or the stock is coming down, and keep the difference, and then rinse and repeat. So congratulations to any of our other fellow BeachBum traders who also profited from this covered call scalp on DRIP. So again, we'll rinse and repeat. We'll try to go next week and see if oil declines in our DRIP position, those covered calls increase in price, and we'll sell those covered calls again, and again rinse and repeat. Similarly, we had sold cash secured puts against Tesla at the 126.67 strike with a January 20th expiration. So those expired worthless on Friday. We sold them for $4.55, and since they expired worthless, we got to just keep all the premium. And again, we'll rinse and repeat that starting on Monday as well. So congratulations to all of our other BeachBum traders who also profited from selling these puts on Tesla. And again, we've talked. My assumption in the past was that someone would exercise these early, and they missed their opportunity because Tesla was below that 126 strike price. They didn't exercise the options. Tesla went back up, so those options expired worthless, and we got to keep the premium. So again, the fact they didn't exercise them early, they lost out on an opportunity to profit on those puts. And again, we'll be likely seeking to sell cash secured puts on Tesla again next week. So if you want to get real-time trade alerts on any of our trades, including these, our Patreons, we post these trade alerts when we enter exit trades to our Patreons. We also post them in a couple channels in our Discord that I'll show you momentarily. And again, our Patreon members have access to these alert channels. So if it's, we also have automated price alerts based on Thinkorswim price alerts. So if one of those gets triggered, it automatically posts to this Thinkorswim alerts channel. And if we follow that up with a trade, then we would post the follow-up on that trade in the Thinkorswim price alerts channel. If it's not based on a Thinkorswim alert, so you can see where we bought back our covered calls on drip. So we updated the trade alerts channel in our Discord. So again, we don't recommend that anyone blindly follow us or anyone into a trade. But if you would benefit from seeing what trades we are making, entering, exiting, etc., you can join our Patreon and you can get that information. So again, if you find that helpful, you can join our Patreon and get our trade alerts. Good morning, Walter Lyons. Thank you also for joining us. Glad to see you. Hope you're doing well. So again, we didn't really initiate any new positions. And again, we'll be looking to rinse and repeat on these covered calls and cash secured puts. And also I'll show you some other developments that we made in the area of our cash secured puts or our put option strategy. So now let's look at our real-time watch list updates for this week. I really didn't make any changes to our real-time watch list. Again, these are ones that we're watching in real time. I also have automation that runs against our real-time watch list and notifies me if the price is moving up, moving down, etc., hitting my target price. So right now in our real-time watch list, we still have LABD and SOXS. So I'll jump over to Webull and we'll look at those charts. And interesting observation we'll see. I'll jump over to Webull now and we can see this. Here's LABD. LABD is the short on biotech, leveraged inverse ETF on biotech. We put that on the watch list last week. We're just kind of waiting for it to come back down to that support level again. And the interesting observation in both of these is even though they ran tech up on Friday, both LABD and SOXS actually declined. So in the past, they had been participating and getting pushed. LabU and SOXL, which are the longs on biotech and semiconductors, or the inverses of LabD and SOXS. They tend to trade with technology, and they didn't really participate very heavily on Friday. So again, LabD didn't come down as much as I would have thought. Neither did SOXS. You can see where our target price is, where the previous bottom is on SOXS. So maybe if we get a further push in tech on early next week, both SOXS and LabD may present that opportunity to get in at a bottom or a support level, and then wait for a reversal in both biotech and semiconductors. Again, we've talked about the thesis that, semiconductors, the guidance is poor. Going forward, a surplus now, lack of demand going forward. So that's kind of our thesis in semiconductors. LabD, biotech, again, biotechs tend to be cash burning, etc. So not as attractive as they used to be in a rising interest rate environment with high inflation and potentially going into a recession. So that's what we've got on our real-time watch list right now. We'll look at our bullpen real quickly. For anybody who happens to be new to our BeachBum trading community, the concept of the bullpen are ones that we're not watching in real time. I revisit them at the end of the day. I put them in the bullpen if they look like they might present an attractive setup in the near future. And then at the end of the day, I revisit them all. If they do present a more attractive setup, then we put them in the game. We move them up to our real-time watch list. If they break down or run away, then we take them off of the bullpen. A good example is this BOS, Better Online Solutions. We've had it in the bullpen for a couple weeks, and it ran up with technology. So we're going to take it out of the bullpen for now, and we can always revisit it if it comes back down and presents an attractive setup in the future. PAL is the ETF long on palladium. Again, palladium had dipped down, then it ran back up a little bit. So we're still watching for an opportunity in palladium. A new one we are adding to the bullpen is SENS SOXS Holdings. It's a diagnostic company. It's a healthcare medical device type of company. They appear that they've been profitable in the past. In FinViz, their income showing profitable. Some of their earnings were negative recently, so maybe it's a turnaround type of play. It is a healthcare segment. We'll look at the chart, and maybe this warrants a due diligence video to dig deeper into their profitability and their long-term future. TRT we've had on the bullpen for a while. This is a small, low float, small cap semiconductor company. Looks like it might be an opportunity there. Looks like they're at least sometimes profitable. Again, may warrant further due diligence to make sure that they have a future profitability. Welcome again. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you as well. And then UROY is a uranium play that we like, one of the ones we've swung in the past profitably numerous times. It's one of the more attractive ones in the uranium sector. You saw yesterday they've been running the uranium sector up, so it's a little above where our ideal price target is. If it comes back down, then UROY would be one that we'd like to scoop up as a uranium play. So we'll quickly look at the charts for each of those in Webull. Just a quick reminder, if you're not already using Webull, they're still offering their 12 free stock deal. So you can get up to 12 free stocks by opening an account and funding an account with at least $100 in Webull. Each of the free stocks is worth anywhere from $3,000 to $3,000. You'll see in part 1, as well as our due diligence videos, we use Webull for our market analysis, for our due diligence, as well as the majority of our actual trading we do in Webull. So again, if you open an account, you get 2 free stocks. If you deposit at least $100, you get up to 10 more free stocks, each worth from $3,000 to $3,000. So again, if you don't already have a Webull account, don't already use Webull, again, it's our favorite trading platform. We recommend it. We use it. And again, one of the things I really like about Webull is their 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. trading hours. And you'll see in some of these ETFs, they rebalance, recalculate sometimes, at 4 a.m. and you'll get a gap up, gap down, and you can take advantage of those opportunities in Webull. So again, take advantage of the 12 free stocks. You can always cash them out, take the cash, go elsewhere if you're not happy with the platform. Again, I'm using the online browser version of Webull right now. They do have a desktop version and a mobile version as well, and you can use any of those platforms. They do have some differences in features and functionality that we'll talk about at some point. So here's our bullpen. Again, here's palladium, PAL. You can see it's a little bit higher than where we would like. We can see the support level around 153. We'll look at our ETF Google Sheet in a little while, and you'll see ideally to get the 2-to-1 risk reward profile that I'd like it down in this 143-ish area. So I'd like it to come down a little bit, and then we would go long palladium with PALL. This is that SENS SOXS, the medical device company. You can see it had popped up and is dipping down. Looks like it's got pretty good support around the $1 area, and the previous low was around 77. So those are 2 areas I'm watching for potential opportunities to go long in SENS. So again, there's a support at 1, and then there's another previous bottom at 77, 52-week low at 77. So I'm going to keep an eye on that and see if it comes down to either of those levels. You can see it's a little bit high right now, but it popped up as a multiple bottom in FinViz, and so I took a look at it. Looks like it might be a candidate, so we'll put it in the bullpen and keep an eye on it. TRT, again, this is the very low float, small cap semiconductor. You can see it's pretty choppy. Around $4 is previous support. And you can see it's a little bit higher than that right now. And these are somewhat difficult when they're illiquid, low float like that. They chop around, sometimes difficult to trade. But we'll keep an eye on it. And then UROI, this is the uranium play. Again, I'd really like it around this 210. You can see it's had multiple touches at that 210 level. That's kind of an ideal place. Around 220 something is another support level that we could take a position. You can see it's got a decent upside. From that 210, it's got almost a 50% upside. Okay, so now we'll jump into our ETF spreadsheet, and we'll see if there's any other categories, topics that you'd like to look at, the various ETFs. Please throw those up in the chat, and we can take a look at those. We'll look at LABD and SOXS. I'll also show you some enhancements I recently made to this Google Sheet. Just a reminder, also, we have moved this Google Sheet into a separate folder so that our all access and VIP patrons have access to this Google Sheet 24/7. Anyone who had joined our Patreon at the official level is grandfathered in, will have access to this ETF spreadsheet, as well as you'll see a put ROIC spreadsheet that I will show you in a little while that I just developed. And again, all access and VIP patrons will have access to that Google Sheet as well. And you'll see an additional enhancement I made to this ETF Google Sheet this week was I added some custom formatting. So now the symbol is highlighted if all 4 of the risk reward columns show a risk reward profile of greater than 2. And that helps me more quickly and easily identify potential ETFs to watch to further evaluate as to add to our watch list or take a position. So I'll get that open and I'll grab a drink a second. And if there's any, again, categories you would like to take a look at, if you put those in the chat, we can focus on those areas for you. So I'll zoom this down a little bit. Let's see how it looks. If I go to 90, how's that? That doesn't look too bad. Hopefully y'all can see that well. Well, I'm glad you like that too, Walter. It was a little tricky to figure out how to do the conditional formatting on different columns. So I actually had ChatGPT helped me with that conditional formatting. So now it's quite a bit easier. We can just focus on the symbols that are highlighted. So we can see LABD is showing, it's got a positive risk reward. You can see, ideally I'd like it around this support level of 1230. Again, it's, got a real nice risk reward at that level. See Bitcoin, the Bitcoin long is showing up right now. I know Bitcoin has run up this weekend. MJ is showing up. It's a little above where I'd like the support level. Yang is the short on China. We've talked about this the past several weeks. Again, some of these are decent day trade, scalp, breakout trade pairs, LABU and LABD. You could day trade those, any given day, just whichever one's running. Good opportunities. Same thing with Bitcoin. Also yin and yang. Yin is the long on China. Yang is the short on China. And again, we've been talking that the longer term trend is positive. So we're currently long on yen, trying to sell. We sold covered calls against our position in yen. But again, you can day trade yin and yang profitably if you're a nimble trader. This is consumer want, is consumer discretionary. I'm not real hip on that segment, given going into a recession, all the layoffs, increasing interest rates. So I can kind of see why that's down. So I'm not terribly interested in that. Again, we have all the indices. If you want to play the indice pairs, EDC is emerging markets. Again, a lot of issues with emerging markets right now. FANG-U, I was looking at FANG-U and FANG-D. If they keep running the FANG stocks up and FANG-D gets attractive, I may look at taking a short in the FANGs again. We've profitably traded the FANG stocks with this FANG-U, FANG-D pair. Gold, silver, gold's been running up. It's in the 1900s. Home builders. Natural gas, again, another pair you can trade, boil and cold. Cold is the short, boil is the long. Right now, natural gas has been running down, so cold's been increasing in value. Boil's been making, new bottoms. Here's PAL, palladium. It's not showing right now as having all four be over 2. But it's got a 2, better than 2 support to resistance, risk reward. So again, if it came down to that 143 level, it would be more attractive. Real estate, again, if it came down a little bit farther. So again, all the pairs, here's the Russell pair, here's the S&P pair. We added, again, a couple weeks ago, JEPI is a dividend-paying ETF on the S&P. Here's SOXS. You can see it's very attractive, over 2. But we'd like it to come down to that 25 price target. Alan thinks natural gas wants to go to 0. I don't think it's going to go to 0, but it's right now the trend is definitely down, even though the predictions are that it should go back up. This is travel. So again, it'd be more attractive a little lower. Bonds, again, TMF, we're long TMF. I didn't see Tanvir as the TLT guy. I didn't see Tanvir. Again, we expect yields to have to go up, which means prices will have to come down to compete with the Fed interest rate. Talked about Vietnam. This ETF that Easy Mike shared with us a while ago. We'd like it to come down a little bit. I have some concerns that we'd want to watch, but with an ETF, that's definitely a safer play than an individual stock. So unless anybody else has any other categories you want to look at right now, again, you can see how much that enhancement helps. You can quickly whip through this, find the particular categories in the ETFs that are attractive, investigate them further, see if there's anything you want to watch or take a position in. So I hope that helps. And again, some of this data is based on Google Finance functions, so it's not truly real time. You can see it's potentially delayed up to 20 minutes. And then some of these other fields I automatically populate using some automation at the end of the day. So it pulls the support and resistance, bottom and tops from our database and updates this spreadsheet at the end of each day based on the data in our database. And again, in a little bit, I'll show you how I've developed a similar one for puts. So just to talk about our shopping list, again, if you're new to our community, the concept of the shopping list is something we recommend. You always have your shopping list of stocks that you always want to buy, given a good opportunity when they become a value, when they become cheap. You have your list ready and those that you want to buy so you can take advantage of those opportunities. Yesterday, we talked about how earnings may present those types of opportunities. So if you get an irrational overreaction on an earnings, then that may be your opportunity to scoop up one of your shopping list stocks. So again, having that list and being ready, listening to the earnings, looking for opportunities from irrational reactions is a good way to get stocks that you would like. Some topics, some themes to look at in terms of culling, filtering your shopping list. We talked yesterday about the January Barometer and what that says about the trend for stocks. If the January Barometer shows positive for January, that the tendency is for the markets as a whole to be up for the year. Now, obviously, that doesn't necessarily apply to every stock. Every stock's going to have its individual factors, but that the trend should be positive. You can listen to that video via the link in our Google document and or on our channel. We also talked about the January effect for the past couple weeks and what types of stocks might outperform in January. So again, you can see that video. And again, just a reminder, if you happen to do tax loss harvesting end of last year, make sure you don't invalidate your tax loss harvesting by violating the wash sale rule. So make sure you understand the wash sale rule if you did do tax loss harvesting. So also, we keep reminding everyone we don't want to see anyone get hurt from this FTX bankruptcy fallout. I just heard part of the Genesis exchange is also filing bankruptcy. Again, there's continual ripples, continual fallout from this whole episode. And again, we don't want to see anyone get hurt from that. So just a warning. Also, beware of zombie stocks, zombie companies. Again, interest rates are going up, inflation's still high. If we go into a recession as well, quite a few of these companies may not be around too much longer. We heard Bed Bath & Beyond's going bankrupt. I think there were several others recently announcing bankruptcy or Chapter 11 protection, bankruptcy protection. So just be careful. We don't want to see anyone get hurt. Inflation still high, so make sure your portfolio is inflation proof, recession proof, and is resilient to rising interest rates. Again, the next Fed meeting is February 1st, or the next Fed decision is February 1st, and we know interest rates are going to go up. We just don't know by how much and how fast they're going to continue to increase. So Walter says he's surprised we haven't seen more bankruptcies. I expect we're going to continue to see more. We're just starting to see them. We're not fully in a recession yet. Again, we just came off the holidays, etc. So we're seeing, more layoffs going into earnings, etc. So again, I expect to see many more in the future, particularly these zombie stocks. And again, you can hear what the definition is of a zombie company, a zombie stock, a zombie ETF via our previous videos. There's Ollie in the Bay. Glad to see you. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about trade ideas. In particular, I want to talk about our option strategies. Again, the past couple weeks, we've been evolving our option strategies. You can see we made some money, both selling covered calls and selling cash secured puts the past week. And again, in this choppy market, I think this is a good trading strategy to make money trading in this choppy market. As you can see, it's working for us. We're trying to develop this strategy, improve on this strategy. Again, I'm working on a series of videos. I should put a series of videos on the options wheel strategy that will explain what that is, how you can use it to generate income. So keep an eye out for that. Please hit the bell notify icon, select all notifications. So as we release these videos, you will be notified as they come out. And again, they should be coming out soon. So part of my rethinking of this option strategy, as we talked about with the Tesla position, is, I found out that even if a options in the money, the probability that it's going to be exercised early seems to be relatively low. Again, I'm running a poll in our a topic in our Discord to ask you all, how often do you all get assigned early options that are in the money? Again, I'm trying to gather additional data. What is that probability? And I'd appreciate your replies to this Discord topic. Again, our Discord is free to join. You can find an invite in the description box below. And we discuss all kinds of topics on all kinds of different asset classes, and I'll show you that topic in just a sec. So again, we have channels for the different asset classes. All these are free access, free to join our Discord. And again, we'd love to hear your feedback on both, how often do options get assigned early? And we're also going to talk about how do you determine the best stocks against which to sell a cash secured put. So again, I appreciate your responses in these topics. With your feedback in those areas, that will help everyone in the BeachBum trading community be able to benefit from these option strategies as well. And again, whatever type of asset class you like to trade, whatever type of trading style you like, we have a channel in our BeachBum trading community Discord for those types of discussions. So we hope that helps. So again, we talked about covered calls and how we're utilizing those. We've been evolving our strategy on selling cash secured puts. The reason I typically mention their cash secured puts is because if you're selling them in a retirement account, IRA, 401k, etc., they have to be cash secured. So we do the majority of our trading in retirement accounts. So typically I'm doing a cash secured put. If you're just, if you want to just sell puts without having them cash secured, you can do that. I think this is a better strategy than just sitting on excess cash. Also, we've talked about dividends. We'll talk about dividend stocks again, another place to use excess cash while we're waiting for the market to recover, trend in some direction that we can profit from trading. Again, generating additional revenue. It does tie up that buying power, ties up that cash during the duration of the option. So that's something to consider. So I've learned from research on the wheel strategy. They say an optimal time frame, days to expiration, is kind of this 30 to 40 day window. So I'm kind of targeting that window. Also, if they're not going to be exercised early, I don't want to have a stock that I want to watch to buy the shares in, because then I'd be better off just buying the shares and not having the cash tied up in a put. So it's another consideration. If it's something on our watch list, etc., that we're going to buy shares, then I'm not particularly interested in selling cash secured puts against. So Alan Kretz is asking a question about the dollar. If Saudi Arabia joins the BRICS countries, it's a good question. We'll have to keep an eye on the dollar. The dollar's been weakening a little bit. We've also got interest rates going up that'll have an effect. Again, global interest rate decisions, etc., global politics can also have an impact. So it's good to hear that news. Okay, so yeah, we don't want crappy companies. We don't want zombie companies. We don't want stocks that we want to buy shares. We want to put a strike price that's actually below or at our target buy price, 30 to 40 day window. You'll see I'm measuring the return on invested capital to compare them, and also the ROIC per day to, again, select those that have the best return on invested capital. So to figure this out, what I've developed is another Google Sheet that I will show you momentarily. We'll get that open, and I'm providing access to our All Access and VIP Patreons to this new Google Sheet. It's a ROIC, return on invested capital calculation, Google Sheet for puts. And I'm finding this very helpful in identifying potential stocks that I want to sell, in my case, a cash secured put against, to, again, generate this additional revenue. So let me grab a drink a second, and then I will explain how this new puts ROIC spreadsheet works. And we'll probably do a more detailed video in the near future. I'm going to probably snip these parts out and then go into further detail about how this works, how it gets populated, etc. But we'll do a quick preview. And again, any of our patrons will have access to this, and you can use this to figure out symbols that may be attractive for selling a put against. So again, the reason I developed this is because I was struggling trying to figure out, which stocks, which symbols might be attractive to sell a cash secured put against, right? At any given time. So as you can see, I'm using these Google Finance functions again to give me the current price, the daily low, high, 52-week low and high. If I'm looking at that 40-day window, what that's doing is adding 40 days to the current date. So it tells me, okay, what expiration do I want to select? So to stay within that 30-day window, right now it's the February expiration date. So then I've looked at my target price, and I'll show you where the support resistance. Well, you can see right there. There's essentially my target price is the support level. So I want to select a strike price that's below that support level, which I can set. So the columns in gray, support and resistance, these are being populated from my database. So as part of my end of day automated process, it pulls the data out of a new set of tables where I'm tracking. I've got two types of puts. These are the ones that I'm actively watching that appear to present a decent return on investment invested capital. I have another research tab I'll show you in a second, and those are ones where I can do this type of research analysis to figure out if essentially this is our watch list for puts. So we've been talking about offering a watch list for puts, so now this spreadsheet becomes our watch list for puts. So we can see it also populates the delta from my database as well. I probably should color that in gray as well, as that's also coming from automatic population. And then it's calculating the potential profit, which is n minus m. So it's assuming, okay, so this 52L and 52H, this is the price for the option. So if I were to sell a cash secured put, the 52-week low price for that put is 68 cents for Amazon, and the high is 557. So if I want to try to sell it at the high, and if I buy it back at the low, then I would get 489 in profit premium from that transaction. So that gives me, for Amazon, it tells me the return on investment capital is 5%. So you can see for Amazon and Disney, they're both over 5% return on invested capital. You see Tesla is very attractive. It's showing a 7% return on invested capital. So you can see why I want to sell cash secured puts again against Tesla. So then it calculates also a daily, so we can see per day held. Again, Tesla is very attractive. I've got the distance from the current, from the strike price, and then also how much cash would be required to secure that put. So it tells you your reduction in buying power, or how much cash would you need in your account to be able to sell this cash secured put. The change column is the current change in price. Again, this is from a Google Finance function. So again, these aren't truly real time. They're, potentially a 20-minute delay. But it tells me, the red tells me that all of these stocks were going up. And I want to sell cash secured puts when the price is going down, which means the put price is increasing. And then I want to buy it back when the stock price is going up, which means the put price is decreasing, and then rinse and repeat. So, it's the inverse of the covered call. So I highlighted this and said, okay, well, if the change is positive, then that's not the time to sell a cash secured put. If the change is negative, then that may be the time to sell a cash secured put. So that's what the red highlighting is. So again, you could see, both Disney and Amazon the other day were going down. Now on Friday, everybody was going up. But on Thursday, I believe, was the day that I actually put an order in one of our accounts to sell cash secured puts. Right now, I've got the price set at, I think, just below the 52-week high prices. So if those Amazon and Disney decline significantly, my cash secured put will sell. Now, I also have automation that will notify me if I should adjust those prices downward to meet the current bid price, or if somebody undercuts me on the ask, then it will tell me, hey, maybe you should lower the price. And again, on Monday, I will probably do the same thing with Tesla. So that's our strategy right now with selling cash secured puts. Here's our watch list currently for selling cash secured puts. The research tab, again, is it works the same way. I have a separate table in my database. I could say, hey, here, go research this set of symbols. It will then populate this research tab, and then I can look at the return on invested capital. If anybody looks attractive, it looks like Apple's currently at about 4%. So maybe we want to add Apple to the watch list. So again, this is where I'll be evolving this strategy and testing out various symbols to see if they are more attractive and they should be added to this watch list for selling puts. So again, this is now our watch list for selling puts. Again, we're selling mostly cash secured puts. If you want to use this to sell puts in general, we hope that you'll find this helpful. Again, you can get real-time access to that spreadsheet as well as the ETF spreadsheet by joining our Patreon at the all access or VIP level. Again, if you're already a member of our Patreon, you already have access to that spreadsheet, and everyone who joined previously is grandfathered in to have access to those spreadsheets, those folders. So the next question, and again, I showed this in the Discord topic, is, you know, how else do we find stocks to research, stocks to add to our watch list, to sell cash secured or puts in general too? So that's the question. Let me grab a drink and then we'll talk about that a little bit further. So again, I appreciate your responses to that topic in our Discord. You know, ideas. How can we find additional stocks to research to potentially add to our watch list to sell puts against? One of the tools that I've been looking at is this option seller ROI tool. As you can see, you can get the link in the Google document. It's also on our web page under tools. So again, on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. Under the links section, we have links to all our social media sites. You can find an invite to a free invite to our Discord, our Facebook group, etc., the trading platforms we use, all the trading tools that we use, etc. So you can find this link also to this option seller ROI tool that somebody turned us on to. And so I've been trying to use this to also identify potential stocks given my criteria, you know, no crappy stocks. So I don't want somebody that's going bankrupt. You know, here's the ETF, SQQQ. So again, I'm just starting. There's Tesla, obviously that one's attractive. Roku, that's not really, given Roku's unprofitability right now. I don't really want to get stuck holding Roku until they become profitable. So again, I'm kind of starting to go through this and trying to find others that might be good candidates. So I'll continue to do that and see if this tool provides a good way to identify other stocks to put on our put watch list or not. Also, you know, trying to find other ways. So I, again, love your ideas. You know, are there ways that I can scan in my aftermarket process to find other stocks that we can put on our watch list? And again, I'll begin sharing this put watch list, this put spreadsheet with you probably on a weekly basis, you know, like we do with the ETFs. So if you have ideas or you want me to research one of these, add them to the research automation, I can do that. Just, you know, let me know in the Discord or Facebook group or via social media, tag me in the Discord, say, hey, could you check puts on, you know, stock XYZ? And I can take a look at that and run the automation against it using the spreadsheet in our database. So we have a whole options playlist. Again, we're going to be adding more videos to that playlist, releasing more videos on the options wheel strategy, etc., more about our experiences and lessons learned with all of this. So again, we hope you choose to subscribe, hit the bell notify so that when we do release these additional videos that you'll get notified. I did want to very quickly get to some of the questions before I wrap up. And John had asked in last week's live chat about CVS. I didn't really have a lot of time to look into CVS, but we can take a real quick look at it right now in FinViz. And I can, you know, go into further due diligence if that is of interest to John and or our other BeachBum traders as well. So again, you can find a link to FinViz also in our links under tools. So we can go to FinViz, we can enter CVS, we can take a quick look. So it does look like it's come way down. Let's zoom out, zoom the chart out. So it's, got heavy resistance. Looks like in, 104-ish area. It's really come down quite a long way. It's below its moving averages, below its 20, below its 50. But still relatively high. So it looks like the high point's, 110. So we've got 30, upside. It's got lots of downside. So back even last year, it was down in the 50s. So we've got 30 down, 30 up or so. So it's about 1-to-1 risk reward, not terribly attractive. So that looks like the previous bottoms in that 55 to 60 range. Looks like it just recently broke below its 20-month average, and looks like it's downtrending. So it looks pretty negative momentum right now. It does look like they're profitable. It looks like $3.15 billion, so that's positive. It is optionable. Looks like they have a lot of debt. Looks like the float and outstanding is in sync, very low short float, so that's it's not going to short squeeze. 86 to 111, so it's pretty much at its 52-week low right now. Again, it looks like it's downtrending. So it looks like their profits has been going down a little bit. And it looks like their latest quarter was negative. So they lost money. That would explain the downtrend. So again, I hope for John and anyone else interested in CVS, at least that's a quick look. Again, I can go into a further due diligence video, go into more depth. I do have experience with CVS. I can talk about some of our recent experience with CVS. We have one pretty close by that we go to. And again, I think that experience might be of some interest and give you some insight into their traffic. Again, we see it's a major downtrend, and so I would want to see it establish a good bottom and swing back up, possibly significantly lower before, and get a 2-to-1 risk reward profile before I'd be interested in CVS for a swing. So I hope that all helps. So does anyone else in the chat have any other questions right now that I can respond to? Otherwise, we'll wrap up. Home of the long receipt. Not sure I follow, but okay. Okay, so if you have any further questions, again, you can always tag me in the Discord. Again, you can find the invite to the Discord. It's free to join in the description box below. You can ask in our Facebook group. You can tag me on our social media. Again, you can find the links to all our social media sites on our homepage, beachbumtrading.com, bum without the U. Again, if you're interested in having me do research on any new stocks for puts, we can start doing that as well. So again, just tag me in the Discord, let me know, or any other questions you may have. We're here to help you succeed in your trading, make money in your trading. We've got a great community. Again, please join us in the Discord, join the community, subscribe to our channel, and join the conversation. We've got, a great community of traders that help each other out. We're all here to help each other succeed in our trading, so for our mutual benefit. So we hope you have a great rest of your weekend and a great trading week. Good luck and have a great trading week. Bye.